Welcome to the game room. Today we're taking a look at a beginner level escape room in a box, Exit the Game, the haunted roller coaster from Kosmos. Before we start, please note that we received a review copy of this escape room in a box game from Kosmos.
All right. Exit the Game, the haunted roller coaster, like all exit games, was designed by the pair of Inka and Markus Brand, with this particular episode getting some help from Ralph Querfurth. Artwork was provided by Silvia Christoph, Martin Hoffmann, and Michaela Kienle. Sorry, I apologize for that. This escape room in a box was published by Thames Kosmos in 2019. The haunted roller coaster is billed as a gateway exit game perfect for beginners. It plays 1 to 4 players, and you're expected to complete it in under 2 hours, depending on how well you puzzles. For Deanna and I, this was our third exit game we played, starting with the Secret Lab, then moving on to the House of Riddles. Now, you can find reviews of both of these on the blog and in earlier podcast episodes, which we'll drop links to in the show notes. Since this particular exit game was specifically designed for beginners and is noted to be a great introduction to the series, we decided to take the chance to introduce our daughter to the series, who is currently 13. Together, we managed to solve this escape room in a box in under an hour.
Which is pretty much sort of, and that's around the right average time for the escape boxes, I think, so far.
Well, that's the ridiculously you got max point score.
Right.
So I would think the average would probably be longer.
So due to the fact that this is a puzzle game and we didn't want to give away any unwanted clues, we did not record an unboxing of this game.
No, we did not. Now, on the blog post, I think I am going to have to put some spoiler images because if you're not worried about spoilers, you got to see some of this because the components in this particular exit game were excellent and did some things I've never seen in an exit or escape room box before. Some things that were true surprises that none of us expected. And I kind of wish I could spoil it, but I don't want to. On the blog, there'll be spoiler pictures. I've got all the pictures. I've got the cool stuff. There'll be you have to click through to see it. But
right.
Yeah, I'll definitely be able to do it on the blog. It's just not something we can really do here on the podcast. So this is the problem, right? This is the problem with reviewing these games. It's hard. We don't want to spoil anything for anyone. So I got to keep things as general as I can. So I will start off by saying I didn't expect much from this. This goes on our surprising games. This one surprised me considerably because the last exit game we played was the House of Riddles, which is rated a 2 on their difficulty scale of 2 is 5. And I don't know why 1's not the easiest. I really don't know. I think they want people to think, well, 1's for beginners. I'm going to start at 2. I don't know. Whatever. This is the lowest difficulty of all the exit games, and House of Riddles was a disappointment, a really big disappointment, to be honest. It was completely linear. All the puzzles were so dead simple that we were solving them as fast as we could read them. You would flip a card and just be like, yeah, okay, you have to do this. Yeah, it's 2, 5, 6, go. Like, we played through this in record time. I think it was under half an hour. And the only reason it took as long as it did is you needed scissors and to cut and fold things. And doing that took time. There was really no challenge for Deanna and I in playing the House of Riddles.
Well, and to be fair, I mean, you guys worked your way down from the higher level games.
That's true.
So not surprisingly.
But then the surprise came with this one because the haunted roller coaster is also rated a 2. So here I expected more of the same. I thought we were just going to plow through this. And one of the reasons that I brought our daughter in is I kind of thought we'd get to these easy puzzles and Deanna and I would kind of sit back and let her figure it out to give her a bit of a challenge. And interestingly, this is not like, so this intro, the intro to the set, we use the app to read it to us, but it's also in the book, actually explained how it's a beginner level game. And it warned you right from the start that it would be linear. And what linear in this case for an exit game means is there's no crossover between puzzles. Like you never need the part of part A to solve part Y way later. So everything's contained. There's always a book included with these. And in this one, you literally only look at one page at a time. Whereas in, say, the Secret Lab, you are given a book and a map and you're kind of like, figure it out, do something. Whereas here it's, go to page 1 and read page 1 and then flip it. Once you solve page 1, go to page 2, right? So it told us ahead of time, which was kind of cool. Here it's clear what tools are in your toolbox for each specific puzzle. There are 10 puzzles, which is, again, identical to House of Riddles. So you have the same, it's linear, you have 10 puzzles, everything's contained. That part's the same as House of Riddles. So I expected the disappointment to be the same, but that is where this comparison ends between them.
Right. So despite the fact that these are the same difficulty, And the same game manufacturer,
Yeah.
they managed to catch everyone off guard.
They did, because we were surprised. There were a number of very unique and interesting puzzles in the Haunted Roller Coaster. For one, compared to the other one, there was a coherent story here, and the theme was present in every puzzle. The last one was just random rooms. It was a mansion designed by escape room aficionados, and every puzzle was standalone, and there was nothing tying them together. Here, everything was tied together. It was a haunted roller coaster, so there were all kinds of spooky twists and tricks. There were a number of cool things were done with the components of this box this time around, including some true surprises. There was actually a jump scare in this, which was fantastic. I wish I could say more. I really do, but I don't want to spoil anything for someone else that's going to go through this box.
Well, I have to say, the concept of a boxed board game escape room actually managing to pull off a jump scare is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was. It really was. Now, I got to say, every exit game's impressed me in some way. Some ways with a variety of puzzles, right? The out of the box thinking required and the unique use of the components. Like every time I play one of these, I'm like, oh, look at this cool thing they did. But this one just did it better than all of the other ones, including Secret Lab. This was by far the most interesting exit room game we played. And it had some of the coolest artifacts, stuff that's left over at the end of the game that you can still, like, even the reward was a cool surprise that let you continue the fun after you finished solving the puzzle. Now, as for my daughter playing, she really enjoyed it. She was a great help. Like, this was, like I said, we were probably going to sit back and let her do some of the work. No, we didn't have to do that. She managed to find the solutions for a couple of the puzzles, noting things that Deanna and I missed, or thinking of a different way of thinking of things that we didn't realize. Like, out of the 10 puzzles, there was one that was blatantly obvious. Like, I flipped the card, immediately knew what to do, did it, and we were done. The other 9 all took some work. And we never had to sit back and let Big G solve something just to keep her involved. Right. She was a full partner the entire game.
Interesting.
Now, I can't help but strongly recommend the Haunted Roller Coaster. Like, seriously, this is everything I want in an escape room in a box. The puzzles were cool. The physicality was excellent. I think this is the best gateway to the series. Like, this is now, if anyone says, oh, I'm thinking about picking up an exit game, start with the Haunted Coaster. Start with the Haunted Roller Coaster. It's almost perfect. Like, for fans of series of the game, if you don't own this one, pick it up. Like, despite being a 2 difficulty, this one's fun. There's neat stuff in this box. It does neat things, and I think you'll enjoy it. Even if you don't get stumped, you're still going to have fun playing through this.
Interesting. And I do note that Haunted Roller Coaster is a 2019 release, whereas a large number of their games are earlier, 2016, 17, and 18. Yeah. I wonder if they have learned a lot from their the first 3 years. And so there are, looks like five games from 2019 and 2020. And I wonder if it might not be best, to start with those newer ones. And then if you want to, jump back and play some of the older ones to have a little bit of fun and challenge. But always start with the newer ones to get that best experience of them learning their own craft.
Yeah, like I said, the other thing too is like the Haunted Mansion. I might have the name wrong. I forget the other one we played.
House of Riddles.
House of Riddles. Thank you. The problem, like House of Riddles, nowhere did it say it's an introductory game. It just said it was a rank 2, whereas this one was very clearly saying a great intro to the Exit series. So I don't know, maybe they spent more work on this one, but there is definitely a quality difference between House of Riddles from 2016 and this one released 3 years later. Like a significant, not physical quality, but just the quality of the puzzles, the quality of the theming, how well things tied in together, and so on.
Right.
The only thing I think I would have done different is Haunted should have clued in more. This was very much a game we probably should have played closer to Halloween. It just would have fit in better. Like this would have been like I should have thought of this. Like, there's probably not going to be any trick or treating this year. This would have been great to break out this year on October 31st. I think with the kids, because I think even our youngest daughter would have had fun seeing this game and taking part, and some of the puzzles she might have even been able to help with. I think it is a solid addition to the Exit series. And again, if anyone wants to get into the Exit series, I now think this is the gateway. Do skip House of Riddles. Don't even bother. Just pick up the Haunted Roller Coaster. Great introduction for the game to give you a great idea of what they can do in these small boxes.
All right. Well, for a more in-depth look at Exit, the Haunted Roller Coaster, head over to tabletopbellhop.com and click on reviews.